so many cool storylines as we now head into January, and now conference play galore takes over for the most part, men and women's side. Again, I mentioned there's 3 men's games tonight. North Carolina Pitt, Wake's at BC, Syracuse at Duke. And it's funny, Syracuse, both men and women are making some noise, aren't they?
Something is in the dome.
Just saying. I mean, the ladies, a big win against Notre Dame. Of course, we'll talk with Felisha Legette-Jack coming up here momentarily. And the men are playing well as well. So we'll get into all that stuff. But first, we'll go to Central New York when we return right here on ACC PM.
Instacart shoppers shop for you like you shop for you. So you can do you.
I was on a work trip when the pulmonary embolism happened. But because I had 23andMe, I was aware of that gene. That saved my life.
Breaking news right now, so we wait to see how this plays out.
In all my years, I never watched anything like this.
You have got to watch this replay, folks.
Mahomes. What a catch! Hey, you gotta watch this. I'm watching.
Oh, I'm watching.
You might be done.
Now on SportsCenter, another wild night.
Watch me, do this.
Are you over 50? Would you like to get up to 33% more income in retirement? Then call now and get this free book, Annuity Do's and Don'ts for Baby Boomers, from a leading financial firm on maximizing your income in retirement. This book reveals little-known secrets about annuity strategies in simple-to-understand terms that can help you make the right choices before buying an annuity. And if you call right now, as a bonus, we'll throw in a free annuity rate report. We've researched over 1,200 annuities summarizing the rates and benefits for you. So don't miss out on this opportunity because supplies are limited. Call now and find out how you can get up to 33% more income in your retirement, and you'll receive Annuity Do's and Don'ts for Baby Boomers and the Annuity Rate Report as an added bonus. Both books are yours free, just for calling Annuity General today.
Call 800-517-9914. That's 800-517-9914. Again, 800-517-9914.
Six players. That's what you are. This is an incredible team. Notre Dame is going to possibly be in the Final Four. But today, not only women, we just stepped up because your energy was contagious. If you keep the same with us, we'll keep getting better. I promise you. Great day and go on.
And get that lady a hard hat, man. She's got them all fired up there in the dome. Coach, how we doing?
Oh, my goodness. Oh, to God be the glory. I am fantastic. It's just good to be with you all. It's so good to be with my team, and it's so good to be among the living.
Well, you're right about that. Happy New Year to you and everybody up there at Syracuse. Did you feel this one coming? I mean, your team's really played well all year. We know how good Notre Dame is, incredibly talented. But, I mean, you didn't back down at all. That was one of those things. Let's go get this thing.
Well, you know, they're a fantastic team, and I didn't say that loosely when I said that they're capable of being a Final Four team. And certainly they have a couple players that weren't there to play, weren't healthy, and they get one or two of those players back. It's going to be an interesting road for those who are going to play against them. I just have a lot of respect for their program and what they built and who they are.
When you're building a program. Like, you come in last year and you're trying to put your own stamp on it, obviously. This is very personal for you, too, as an alum. A win like this, I know you're going to have to move on to the next one very quickly. Here we go. ACC play is here, and there's no turning back. But what does a win like this do for your program and for what you're trying to build?
It kind of solidifies what I've been sharing with our players. We are enough. And we're good enough. Anybody can win for 40 minutes. You know, we play Notre Dame 10 times. They probably beat us 8 out of those 10 times. But for 40 minutes, we can be better than any team that we play against. We just got to make our 40 minutes mean more than basketball. It has to mean something to do with our why. It has to mean something to do with our mirror and what we play for outside of the game. And if we can do that for 40 minutes as a unit, our 5 to 7 to 8 players can be better than anybody in the country.
Coach, the thing that's been impressive watching your team play, it's not just one person anymore. You know, a lot of times in the past, hey, it'd be one of those things, Fair's going to go for 30, and man, what else is going to happen? You've got so many players now that can contribute and are a problem when you all of a sudden have to go up against this club. I know you got to like the balance of your team at this point in time.
I do like the way we balance out. You know, our better teams that I've coached have always been teams that we didn't have a go-to player. We had go-to team. We were really good at Buffalo when Sierra Diller and Stephanie Reed were simultaneously playing well together. And then you have to throw in a Cassie Ausler and a Courtney Wilkins and a Catherine Upps. We had, you know, you stop 1 or 2 of those players and the other 3 will show up. And we're developing that here. You know, there's a De'Asia Fair, and to me, she's a notable player throughout the country. But now you have to worry about a young lady named Melissa Latham and Elena Rice and Georgia Woolley. And you can't, you know, leave Kyra Woods out either. So our players, we practice as if we don't know who's our star player. We don't know who our starter is going to be. Evidently, we got an idea, but when we practice and play, we get after it hard, understanding that anybody can have a moment, just be locked on ready.
I know you mentioned all these names, but at the beginning of that is De'Asia Fair. And you've been with her a long time. She chose to come to Syracuse with you, and she chose to come back for another year, which I know was music to your ears. You've seen her from the beginning, and you see her now. Describe what it's like to be on this journey along with her and how she really impacts this basketball team.
Quiet young lady who I think Rochester Institute was the only school that really kind of paid close attention to her. And one of my former players shared with me, Sierra Diller, like, I need to get back to Rochester. This young lady who's in the 8th, 9th grade at the time is going to be pretty special. And she's small, Coach, but you got to keep an eye on her. And we kind of kept an eye on her from a distance. And we thought that, oh, my goodness, she's not going to be able to say yes to a little school called Buffalo. But then we realized that nobody else was recruiting her. And so she came here as quiet as a mouse and really shy and really didn't trust anybody. And we got her to speak. We got her to smile. We got her to let go of her idiosyncrasies and just emerge into that authentic person she was supposed to become. And now look at her. She's like a few points away from 3,000 and the most humble kid you ever want to meet. And the one thing that she'd rather not do is shoot the ball. She'd rather assist and defend. But God blessed her with such a prowess of a scoring nature that if she doesn't put it up, I have to take her out of the game.
So aren't those the best stories? I mean, you know, it doesn't matter if we're talking women's basketball, football, fencing. I don't care what the sport is. I mean, listen, there's always 4 and 5 stars, and we know how talented these kids are coming out of high school. But when you start seeing, you know, whether it be a walk-on or 2 or 3 star kid who says, you know what, I'm going to put in the time. I'm going to put in the effort to better my craft and buy into coaching and hang in there. And there's going to be some tough times. Nobody's going to give you anything. But to me, those are always the coolest stories. And it's amazing how many talented kids there are out there that just need that self-belief that, guess what, I belong. And let me go put in the work and showcase what I can do.
Yeah, and that's the thing, you know. I'd rather go underneath the rock to find the young lady that really has a story to tell, more so than that person that everyone knows and everybody loves and everybody sees as a 5-star. It's supposed to be really special, and it's going to be an unbelievable effort to get her to say yes to what I call the best school in the country and the best staff in the country, Syracuse. And so we say, let's go after the one young lady who doesn't have a lot of people after her, but has a story to tell. And those are young ladies that I want to coach and grow. And I don't care where in the world they are, go find them. And I have a great coaching staff that go after those young ladies for me. And we don't know if they're 2, 3s, or 1s. We just know that they are hungry for an audience to understand where they came from. And if they're hungry for that story, I'm that coach for them.
You saw the statistic there that just ran at the bottom. You guys are perfect at home, which is really exciting. And I know for you, you know how hard it is to win on the road, especially in this conference that is probably the deepest in the entire country. Last year, 3-7 on the road. You guys are getting ready to go to North Carolina. How do you flip that script this year, Coach?
Well, there's no script to flip. In our opinion, every year is a different year, and every team is a different team, and every game is a different game. We're not going to be too high because we just beat Notre Dame. We're not going to be too low because our road trip says that we were 3-7. We're just going to go out there and dance with those people that want to dance with us. If it's on the floor, if it's in the air, we're coming to dance, and we're coming to tell our story, and we're here to play our game. And I just love this group. This group here get me, and I get them. And before I had to take a sabbatical for about a month, I shared with them, I said, this is a player-led team. I'm along for the ride. And it got to a point where I had to, honor my words, because I still had to step away from the team for a month. And this team really didn't lose a beat. I came back, a month later, and I had to fit in. So this is not about me and about me trying to be, cocky or anything. I just really think this young group that I'm coaching has a significant story to tell individually and as a collective group. And I'm along for the ride, and I'm here to help them get there.
It's very clear you have a serious side, but you guys also have a lot of fun. You hand out the hard hat at the end of every game to who played the best, who deserves it. They get to do their speech in the locker room. You see you grab the mic and you're dancing on the court after the game. How do you balance the seriousness of, look, we can do something special, and also, guys, we got to enjoy this ride too? What little things do you make sure you implement to make sure it's not all work and there's a little bit of play too?
We always say it's about fun and focus, but if you lose your focus, then fun goes away. And so we always talk about that all the time. If you talk to a lady named Barbara Jacobs, that was my college coach, and my teammates were Vera Jones and Sue Ludwig and Angela Austin and Danine, we always figured out how to play hard, and really we had black eyes in practice. We went down on the ground with each other, but at the end of practice, we had to give each other rides home. That's where we came from. And I share with our players, if you don't love this game to have fun with it, you can't play this game. But there's a certain time when you're going to have to go to the ground and from going after your dream. Your dream is more important.
I was going to say, we're going to have to get some hard hats and work on the electrician. We get the electricians up there in central New York. I think we just lost Coach. Oh, man, that stinks. We still had some more things to go over with her.
We do.
We'll try to get her back. We'll see what her goes.
I mean, but an 11-1 start, their best start in several years. Obviously, this is year 2 back at the helm of her alma mater. And you can tell the joy on her face winning that game, because you know what that means when you're trying to set a foundation, right? But also, you can tell she means business. Like, this isn't just a one and done. They're not just trying to beat Notre Dame here in December and move on to January and coast through the rest and hang their hats on this, their hard hats on that.
We are down here in Charlotte. That's where the house is located. Studio, excuse me. And but from afar, it feels like Syracuse has some momentum. I mean, not only is the women's program rocking and rolling with a great start, Red Autry and the men are playing extremely well. Coach Brown now taking over for football, the recruiting. I mean, it feels like there's a real mojo happening in central New York. And again, I say that as we're sitting down here in North Carolina. It feels that way.
I couldn't agree more. Yeah, people are, here's the thing. It all starts with, you just want people talking about you for the right reasons as well. And they're being talked about. They're in the conversations in those rooms they're not in. And that's first and foremost. You're getting people to pay attention. And then you have to go put the product on the field or on the court, and you're seeing basketball start to do it. Hopefully football follows suit as well. But there's new energy. They're new coaches, right? All of them are new. Coach Legette-Jack is in her second year. Fran Brown's brand new. Red Autry moving over from one seat to take over for Jim Boeheim. So there's a lot of new, and there's excitement when something is new and shiny. But they're backing that up. They're backing that up.
It feels that way, like I said, from afar. And again, we'll know more as we get into January on both the men and the women's side on the basketball and the hardwood. But, man, so far so good. I've enjoyed watching both of them play and compete and win a bunch of games. They look the part.
And I know for the Syracuse women, they just knocked off Notre Dame, and I mentioned they're on the road now to go take on a really good North Carolina team. Doesn't have a number next to their name anymore after the AP poll, but
They won. They beat Clemson and fell out.
None of it makes sense. Whatever. We know they're really good, but they have a chance. That would be another feather in the cap for them big time, because we know how good Courtney Banghart's North Carolina teams are and how hard it is to play there as well. So they have a chance to do something really special in just like a week span. But on the North Carolina side of things too, they've got a lot of pride, and they have some big dreams this season too.
Yep, no question about it. Quick break. We come back. We'll do a little women's basketball recap. Like I said, appreciate Coach joining us. I don't know what the technical issues were.
She was great.
She's always great. I was going to ask her about her nail game. She got the best nail game in the league. Come back and talk some more hoops next, right here on ACC PM.